Hello. On behalf of myself and Life Vest Inside, we are wishing you all a happy World Kindness Week. Let's turn it into a World Kindness Month and even better, a World Kindness Year. And even better, a World Kindness Years forever and ever. So I wanted to share a story with you. This is Dr. Laz from MIA. That's Miami in the 305. Yeah, that's the area code. Uh, I wanted to share this story with you. It's something that happened to me probably 20 years ago and has just stayed with me. It's something I think about every day. So it left this profound influence on me, this amazing impact. And here it is. So my band was hired to play for an organization for a Purim party. It's a Jewish festival. You exchange gifts, and it's a fun one. People dress up in costumes. It's often referred to as the Jewish Halloween because we walk around with bags of food and in all sorts of fun costumes. But at any rate, my band is hired. I've got anywhere from I can do a solo gig up to an 8-piece music group. With this one, I decided to go somewhere in the middle, and it was a 4-piece group. And I brought enough equipment for Madison Square Garden, New York City. Massive, big amplifiers. I had my keyboard player, my drummer, and a sax player, and myself on guitar and lead vocals. So we're excited. I get to do music therapy on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, for students with profound special needs. So it's an incredible job. It's very inspiring for me. So I'm really practicing all week long, and my band members are usually complaining, when are we going to get together to practice? I tell them I've been doing it Monday through Friday for 7 hours. So, wow, 7 times 5, 35 hours a week putting in. And, okay, so we get together even for a few practices. We got a whole bunch of tunes down. We're all set, ready to rock and roll. And we pull up in front of a little storefront and what they call a strip mall. It's got all these other little businesses going on there. And so open up the door, I get out and walk into the place, and I see the rabbi's there with his family. And of course they get there early, to set up, and we get there early to set up. And right now all it is the rabbi and his family, maybe like 4 or 5 kids, and maybe a couple guests. So, okay, now we were only there a half hour ahead of this event, and I see like 10 people. So I go back to the van, and I tell the guys, I said, fellas, guess what? There's about 10 people in there, and about 80% of them are the rabbi, his wife, and kids. I don't know about this gig. I don't know about this. So my ego starts getting in the way. I'm thinking, there should be 50,000 people here. Come on. This is Dr. Laz and the Cure, right? This should be Madison Square Garden. We should be playing halftime at the Super Bowl. And my ego's going in overdrive. This is way below our stature. Okay. So I go back in and I say to the rabbi, I tell him, look, I've got enough equipment to play a huge venue, and do me a favor. Here's a cassette player, a CD player. I think back then it was cassettes. Here's a cassette player. Here's some cassettes. Play, have a good time. We're gonna pull out and leave. You don't need a 4-piece loud rockin' band for such a small venue. I didn't realize it was such a tiny kind of event. So here's the cassettes. Here's the cassette player. Have a good time. You'll save yourself some money. I don't want to take your money for this. I'll pay the band members out of my own pocket. Thanks a lot. And I walk out to the car and I tell the other band members what my decision was. Well, band members, first of all, they like to play no matter what. It's fun. You're bringing joy to people. It's awesome. Music is the language of the soul, So we're all feeling that. But my ego was really getting in the way big time. And I just didn't feel like taking money for, to entertain like a family and a couple of people. So my son Yossi, who very often plays drums in the band, he's a great drummer. He said to me, Abba, Dad, I thought you're into this quality over quantity bit. I thought you're always telling me it's quality is the main thing. It doesn't matter how many show up. You give it your all, even if it's one person there. You give it your all. Come on. Well, kids know what buttons to push, right? Well, as I'm pondering what he said, and it really did touch a nerve inside, the rabbi comes out and he motions to me, come on over. And he says to me, your offer is very tempting, but I want you to play. Set up and play. And whoever shows up, shows up. And you know what? He said something very similar that Yossi had told me. He said to me, what'll happen is the people who do show up will have such a great time and love it. They'll tell their friends. And then the next time it'll go from 10 to 20, the time after that from 20 to 50, the time after that from 50 to 100, and then 100 to 500, 500 to 1,000. And so get out there, put your best foot forward. Give me your A game. That's what he told me. Give me your A game. How deep is that? Give me your A game. Wherever we go, whoever we meet, we got to be on our A game. We got to put our best foot forward. But that's not the end of the story. Okay, the end of the episode is even more dramatic than the first part. So, okay, I set up somewhat reluctantly. Intellectually, fine, I can understand that. Yeah, put your best foot forward. Yeah, give your A game. Yeah, it's quality over quantity. Okay, I hear that. But my heart wasn't really feeling it. My brain was telling me, yeah, but my heart was like, yeah, let's get out of here. And the next gig, it'll be something worthy of who we are. Big time ego, kicking in overdrive. But I accepted it. Okay, I gave in. And anyhow, we're playing. And I would say maybe 15 people besides the rabbi's family show up. Okay, so it was still a small venue. And, excuse me, I did a song, and one of my songs is, by the way, I was the first rapper in the Jewish music scene. I'm not saying the first rapper out there. I taught I started my educational career in Buffalo, New York, in the inner city area in Buffalo, at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community School in Buffalo, and that's where I began my career. And so my students taught me how to rap. So I became the first rapper in the Jewish music scene. It was so unusual back in the late 70s that I would go to perform for some venues, and they would tell me no rap. They didn't want any riots breaking out. Okay, that was the image of a rapper in a rap group. So, all right, I'm walking around with a microphone. People are sitting against the wall, and one of my tunes is "You Can't Judge a Book by Looking at the Cover." So when I say you can't judge a book, just respond after me. You can't judge a book by looking at the cover. I know it's been said about 1,000,000 times before, but change don't come easy. You got to know the score. You're looking for a friend, a lifelong brother. You can't judge a book by looking at the cover. Said you can't judge a book by looking at the cover. And then I go, there's a whole long tune of mine, and I'm going along the wall, and I'm passing the microphone to the people as they're sitting against the wall. And I would go up to them. I actually would hold the microphone and put it in front of their, in front of their face, and they would take the microphone. And when I would say, "You can't judge a book by sometimes I would have to say by looking at the, and they would just say cover. So that'd be, "You can't judge a book." Some people would right away by looking at the cover. Several of them were, "You can't judge a book." And I'm waiting. I said, "Okay, by looking at the," and they would say cover. And so, it was a nice rappy. And it goes, "Some politicians, their fingers are itching. They keep on wishing that our brains went fishing. Fuel to the fire, crease the rage. They only want their pictures on the front page. Every issue is the color of our tissue. It's outright crazy. They got to know it takes the whole spectrum to make a rainbow. A stereotype is in theory a hype. Smacks on a label and puts you in a box. Says you're not able. Closes the lock. Don't matter if you're black, white, yellow, red, or purple. Everyone you meet is an individual." Okay, individual, but it rhymes with purple. So anyhow, then I'm going around along the wall, and I give it to this one guy. He can't judge a book, and he cannot remember or doesn't want to say by looking at the. So I give him by looking at the, and he says cover. Can't judge a book by looking at the cover. I start to walk away. Great job. He holds my hand and he pulls me back. He wants to do it again. Okay. I say, "You can't judge a book by looking at the cover." I start to walk away. He pulls me back again a third time. "You can't judge a book by looking at the cover." I said, "Well, okay." I start to walk away. This time I walk away fast so he won't pull me back. And we go finish up with everybody gets a chance to say something. Share the glory. Okay, after the song is over, we take a break. And a lady, and what I guess it was her daughter, come up to me. And they had tears in their eyes. And she says to me, she introduces herself. And first I'm thinking, okay, the music was so loud that it brought them to tears. Okay? It was painfully loud. We actually tried to play not where it's at that painfully loud level, just loud enough that it's fun. And I see that she's crying and her daughter is crying. And she told me the following, and I will leave you with this. This is what she tells me. She said, "Do you know, my husband had a stroke about 6 months ago. That was my husband who kept pulling you back to sing along in the song. These were the first words that he's spoken in 6 months. This is the first time we've heard him speak. And the doctor told us 3 months ago that he can start speaking again. He should start speaking again. You should hear him begin to speak again. He hasn't said anything until this song." And my first reaction was being, somewhat of a wise guy. I said to her, "That's a heck of a way to get a free CD from me." But I gave it to her, and I said, "Look, it's not me, and it's not even necessarily my music. It's just music. Music is magic. Music is power. So start doing more music with him, especially music that he used to sing along to, music from his era, music that he loves. Do more music with him, and that'll help." That's like a very therapeutic way to help people very often to recover from strokes and to begin to communicate again. Anyhow, can you imagine when on the way home, this is what I thought. I almost turned down this gig because of my ego. Okay? My ego was going overtime, did not want me to do this gig. Very reluctantly, I agreed to everybody, said, "Okay, fine." We did the gig, and this is what I would have missed if I would not have done that gig. What a powerful lesson. And with that, I bid you all shalom, peace, and one love.